Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Cantonese ebook before it's gone.
大家好，我係 Olivia， 歡迎收睇香港節日系列。大家都知道啦，香港係中西文化嘅交匯點，所以慶祝嘅節日咧，亦都有中有西。我哋會喺呢25集介紹香港慶祝嘅中國傳統節日同埋西方節日。我哋就由最重要嘅節日開始啦，就係農曆新年啦。農曆新年按照農曆曆法，所以每年都唔同日子。例如2014年嘅農曆新年係喺1月31日，而喺2015年就係2月19日。你知唔知喺農曆新年應該着咩顏色嘅衫呢？我會喺呢段影片最後公佈答案。農曆新年前後咧都有好多傳統習俗嘅喎。新年前咧，大家都忙住辦年貨啦、封利是、剪頭髮、買新衫，年28仲要大掃除添。而年30晚，一家人就會聚埋一齊，齊齊整整咁食團年飯。到咗年初一，個個都會去長輩屋企拜年，同埋去寺廟度上頭炷香。年初二咧就繼續去其他人屋企拜年。到咗夜晚就會有煙花匯演，好熱鬧㗎。拜年嘅時候咧，每個人都會講一啲好意頭嘅賀詞嘅喎，例如恭喜發財、財源廣進、笑口常開咁啦。而屋主亦都會用揮春同埋年花嚟裝飾屋企，而且準備好利是、全盒同埋年糕嚟招待啲拜年嘅親友。新年食年糕咧，係因為佢聽落嚟似年糕一樣，寓意年年高升。農曆年最有趣嘅地方咧，就係派利是啦。利是其實係一個紅色或者金色嘅信封仔，而入邊咧就放咗錢嘅。每一位已婚嘅朋友咧，都會準備好多利是嚟派俾啲未結婚嘅親友，同埋一啲平時成日幫你嘅人，例如大廈管理員同埋清潔工人咁啦。藉住派利是，將祝福同埋好運帶俾佢哋嘅。而好多公司咧，亦都會向員工派發開工利是，祝願新一年事事順利。你以為新年期間任何時候都可以拜年啊？咁就要小心啦。年初3係赤口，係個唔吉利嘅日子，所以通常都唔會出去拜年，亦都係一個好藉口休息一下。而家就嚟揭曉問題嘅答案。你知唔知喺農曆新年應該着咩顏色嘅衫呢？喺農曆新年係應該着紅色衫嘅，因為紅色喺中國文化代表喜慶同埋好運，而黑色同白色咧就代表死亡，係新年嘅禁忌。所以記住，千祈唔好喺新年着成身黑色或者白色啊！你覺得呢一集點呢？有冇學到啲有趣嘅知識？喺你嘅國家係點樣慶祝新年嘅呢？喺 Cantonese Class 101.com 留言同我哋分享啦！下次見。
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, can busy people actually learn a language? You yourself probably have an answer to this question, right? But whether you can or can't actually has a bit more to do with your mindset than anything else. And in this guide, you'll discover, 1, is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? 2, mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And 3, 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Talking Online PDF cheat sheet. Learn the must-know internet slang and all the internet-related vocab and phrases in your target language with this PDF cheat sheet. And second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Can busy people actually learn a language? Part 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? So, can busy people actually learn a language? What do you think? Leave us a comment and let us know. As much as we want to say yes, it's more of a yes or no depending on the person. Why yes? Yes, because many of our members are busy and are learning with our system. And some of you who are watching also fall into this camp. But it also depends on the person because it's more of a mindset thing. Either you think you have time or you don't. For example, many of our members fall into the group of can learn and can find the time, even if they're busy. If you're busy and still want to learn, if you look around, you can always find 5 or 10 minutes a day, like on a commute. Now, if your mindset is the opposite, if you think you can't learn a language or you don't have time, you won't even try, even if you had a resource that was proven to work. Part 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And if you think about it, if you had all the time in the world but felt like you couldn't learn a language, you wouldn't try either. Again, this is why it comes down to the mindset and why it all depends on each individual person. Either you think you can or you think you can't. But it may not always be this black and white either. It can also depend on your mental bandwidth too. Think back to your school days, those few days before exams. It got really busy and you had to stop everything to study, right? You were probably thinking, if I can just get through studying this week and take the test, then next week I can finally start relaxing and doing other things. And if someone asked you if you wanted to hang out, you would say no, because you're busy. But chances are you still managed to spend at least 30 minutes on YouTube or social media. Meaning you did have some time, even if you were busy. But the test was occupying your mind and taking up all that bandwidth. So it's also possible that we just don't have the mental bandwidth because we're overwhelmed. And this is a genuine reason for not being able to learn when you're busy. Don't worry, in the next part, we'll show you how to get some bandwidth so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Part 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. So if you've gotten this far, you understand that it is possible to start learning a language, even if you're busy, that you can find the time, but it mostly comes down to your mindset. So how can you develop the mindset? So when you're too busy, it feels like you're overwhelmed and like you don't have control of your time. Well, there are a few things you can do to gain some control of your time, have some breathing room, and learn a bit of language. First, always set small, measurable goals. This is something that we talk a lot about here. For example, learn for 10, 15, or 20 minutes every day. Learn 100 words in 1 month, which means learning 3 to 4 words a day. And the mindset behind this is just being realistic with your goals and what you can do. Because if you're busy, you may not have 1 or 2 hours. And this is a strict rule, especially when starting out with new goals and languages. Always stick to small, measurable goals. Second, lowering your goals and expectations is okay when things get super busy. If you couldn't learn all 100 words for the month and only got up to 40 or 60, that's okay. If you tried learning on Monday and Tuesday but skipped Wednesday and Thursday, that's okay. Sometimes you have to shift priorities, and prioritizing things is a secret to a successful life. You may not get to the goal you wanted to achieve today, but you can get to it next week. Third, it's okay to put language on pause if life gets in the way. Just like with that last point, you can always come back and reach your goal a little later. We often see learners put language on pause, come back later. Some even come back years later. But the key is to come back. Fourth, avoid the all-or-nothing mindset at all costs. And an all-or-nothing mindset is something you'll see in beginners and perfectionists. When you have this mindset, you'll say, language learning requires hours, so there's no point in learning for a few minutes today. But something is better than nothing, and even 5 to 10 minutes of review adds up in the grand scheme. And in the grand scheme, it's more important to be consistent, even if it's just for a minute a day, rather than study for hours once a week. The brain just doesn't work that way. Fifth, do you have a slowdown or relaxing routine that you do on the weekends or whenever you have free time? And if you didn't do it, you'd feel overwhelmed? Leave us a comment and let us know what it is. For some, it could be reading, watching TV, or going to a cafe and doing nothing for a bit. You're there on your own, you don't have much to do in front of you, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're settled, you start feeling in control. And that's the point you have some mental bandwidth. You can start doing some time management and plan your week out. You can put in a few minutes of language learning. But if you don't slow down and if you feel overwhelmed, you could have the easiest possible way to learn a language, and you still wouldn't do it. So, back to you. If you were busy, do you think you'd be able to learn a language? Leave us a comment. So, thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Do you record yourself speaking your target language? If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
大家好，我係 Olivia， 歡迎收睇香港節日系列。今集我哋會介紹新歷嘅大除夕，亦即係元旦前夕，一個喺世界其他國家都有慶祝嘅節日。而家就嚟睇下香港人係點樣慶祝大除夕啦。你知唔知倒數過後要點樣祝賀人呢？我會喺呢段影片嘅最後公佈答案。每年嘅12月31號除夕夜晚，香港周圍都有倒數慶祝活動迎接新年嘅來臨。除咗好多商場會舉行倒數活動之外，政府康文署亦都會舉辦倒數嘉年華，好適合一家大細參與㗎。另外，亦都會好多人租咗成間餐廳嚟開私人 party。喺咁多倒數慶祝活動入面呢，最矚目嘅應該就係維多利亞港嘅煙花音樂匯演，吸引大批市民同埋遊客去到中環同埋尖沙咀星光大道觀賞，萬人空巷㗎。另外呢，香港仲有3個主要嘅大型戶外跨年倒數活動。第一個係銅鑼灣嘅時代廣場，叫做蘋果倒數，概念呢就嚟自美國紐約時代廣場嘅除夕倒數活動。第二個係尖沙咀嘅廣東道，每年都邀請知名藝人嚟表演，同每個市民一齊跨年倒數。第三個呢，就係中環嘅蘭桂坊，每一間酒吧啊、餐廳啊同埋 club 都座無虛席，連街道都企晒人㗎。到時警方呢都會喺呢啲地點做封路安排，將車道改晒做行人專用區。大型活動人多擠迫，容易釀成騷動。差唔多每一年嘅倒數活動呢都會發生衝突或者意外，其中最嚴重嘅就係1993年蘭桂坊嘅人踩人慘劇，一共造成21人死亡、63人受傷，係香港開埠以嚟最多人死亡嘅人踩人事故。吸收咗嗰次嘅慘痛經歷，自此呢，每一次人多嘅地方都會實施人流管制，以免樂極生悲。喺元旦前夕，大部分公共交通工具都會提供通宵服務，確保各位市民倒數同埋慶祝之後呢，可以安全返到屋企嘅。各位交通工具服務員辛苦晒啦！而家就嚟揭曉問題嘅答案。你知唔知倒數之後要點樣祝賀人呢？倒數之後個個都會講新年快樂嚟祝賀人嘅，好多人都會打電話或者互傳短信嚟恭賀親友，令到電話服務負荷好大，可能呢會導致電話打唔通啦，或者短信過咗幾個鐘先到，一啲都唔出奇㗎。你覺得呢一集點呢？有冇學到啲有趣嘅知識？喺你嘅國家係點樣慶祝新年嘅呢？喺 CantoneseClass101.com 留言同我哋分享啦，下次見。
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Since you're learning the language, then you're very much aware of the importance of speaking, which can be easy if you're an extrovert or hard if you're an introvert. So, how can you speak more if you're on the shy side? Keep watching this month's episode. You'll discover who learns faster, extroverts or introverts, why learning a language can help you become more extroverted, and 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Sport and Exercise Conversation Cheat Sheet. Want to talk about fitness in your target language? You'll learn over 50 words and phrases for sports and exercise with this brand new cheat sheet. Second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. Third, the top 12 April Fool's phrases. Want to be able to say some outrageous phrases in your target language for April Fool's Day? Then you'll want this April Fool's phrase list. Fourth, can you talk about your bones in your target language? Learn how to say words like skull, ribs, spine, and much more with this quick vocab bonus. Fifth, 20 must-know jewelry vocabulary. Do you know how to say earrings or necklace in your target language? If you don't, then this vocab lesson is for you. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Part 1. Do extroverts or introverts learn languages faster? If you've ever wondered whether introverts or extroverts learn the language faster, there have been studies done on this. And as you'd expect, extroverts do have an advantage when it comes to speaking and overall conversational skills. Of course, these studies didn't take into account mistakes you may make, such as grammar, vocab, etc. And introverts? Introverts tend to observe and listen more, and tend to be better listeners. Do you agree with these findings? Leave a comment. So the key takeaway is they each have their own advantages. One has something that the other lacks. And that makes sense, doesn't it? If you speak less, your speaking skills will be weaker. And if you want to just speak a lot, you get good at speaking but miss out on the other skills, like listening and reading. So unfortunately, you can't really say who learns faster based on personality alone, just that each one has their advantages and disadvantages. But personality aside, success with a language will always depend on your attitude towards learning itself and how much time you put in. The person that has a better chance of becoming fluent will always be the one that puts in more time to learn, practice, get feedback, adjust with the feedback, and not so much about whether they're extroverted or introverted. But what if you're an introvert who wants to be able to speak more? Is there a way to become more extroverted? Part 2. How to speak more, even if you're an introvert. There are ways to become more extroverted, at least more than your usual self. How? Well, first, by learning a language. When you learn a language, you have a natural desire to connect with native speakers, even if you're shy. Also, native speakers tend to be very supportive and welcoming when you're trying to learn their language. So even if you're shy, it's kind of hard to stay shy in the long run when the people you speak with are so encouraging. In your native language, even if you know a million ways to start a conversation, you might not try to speak to someone because you're worried about whether you have something clever to say or the timing or some other social aspect. But in another language, where you may only know a few phrases, you're not bogged down by that. You just do the best you can with the few phrases you have. Plus, learning a language alone gives you a chance to reinvent yourself. To learn another language is to acquire another soul, as the quote goes. So, learning a language alone puts you on a path towards becoming more extroverted. But if you want specific tips, here are 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. Number 1. Learn how to listen like an introvert. How can this help you to speak more? Introverts tend to listen more, and the better listener you become, the better questions you can ask, which results in a more meaningful conversation, which also means more speaking time for you. So you can speak more even if you consider yourself an introvert by listening well and asking relevant and pertinent questions. By the way, if you want to learn how to ask questions, then check out our top 25 questions you need to know, where you'll learn all about what to ask and answer regarding the most common conversational questions. Number 2, increase speaking time and confidence through experience. Simply put, the more experiences you have in life or experience with certain topics, the more knowledgeable you become. And as your life or work experiences grow, so will your audience. You'll find people coming to you to talk to you. It could be about business, travel, or just your own life stories. If a conversation is about France, and if you've been to France, the conversation will gravitate towards you. Having all that experience makes things easy for you as an introvert. People will come to you, so you don't have to find them. For a language learner, the tricks are to 1. Be knowledgeable about something, and 2. Be able to talk about your experience in the target language. Number 3. Find the right audience. Imagine talking to someone that's not interested in learning languages. They'll give you 100 reasons why they can't learn, never reasons why it might work out for them, right? But when you're talking to an audience that's interested in languages, then you can have a conversation that could go on for hours. So find the right audience to share with. With language learning, it means you need to find native speakers that share the same hobbies or interests as you. Number 4, talk about what you know best. The introvert-extrovert dynamic also depends on how much you know about a topic and what you're most comfortable with. There are topics you may not know enough about, so you won't talk as much. But even the biggest introvert can become a confident speaker once you touch upon a topic they know well. That's where they shine. So if your goal is to be more extroverted, then focus on the things you know about. Or you can always gain experience in topics you don't know much about so you can speak more. Number 5, create opportunities to speak. How? Well, it's hard to stop a stranger and start talking with them without any context, right? But what if you need help finding something at a store, or have a question about a dish at a restaurant? Then it's much easier since you're there with a purpose. So you can create these opportunities by going to a restaurant from the country that speaks your target language and speaking with the staff, or asking a taxi driver a question, or asking staff at an information booth a question. So to recap, if you want to speak more, even if you're an introvert, 1. Listen like an introvert. 2. Increase speaking time and confidence through experience. 3. Find the right audience. 4. Talk about what you know best. And 5. Create opportunities to speak. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how tipping points will bring you closer to your language goals. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
大家好，我係 Olivia， 歡迎收睇香港節日系列。今集咧，我哋會介紹中秋節。中秋節係農曆嘅8月15號，呢一晚嘅月亮咧圓咕碌，即係月圓。月圓喺中國文化象徵團圓，所以到咗呢一日咧，個個屋企人都會一家團聚，一邊賞月一邊食月餅。你知唔知喺中國神話裏面，喺月亮入面生活嘅係咩動物呢？我會喺呢段影片嘅最後公布答案。講到中秋節嘅特色食品，一定就係月餅啦。你有冇食過呢？最初期嘅月餅都係圓形嘅，同天上面嘅月亮一樣。但係近年隨住商業需求逐漸變得多樣化，除咗傳統嘅蓮蓉蛋黃餡，香港仲興起冰皮月餅，同埋其他由傳統月餅變奏出嚟嘅新口味，例如鮑魚、燕窩、芝麻、叉燒等等。而冰皮月餅呢，就係一種凍食嘅新式月餅，食嘅時候口感有啲似雪糕，有機會一定要試下。 喺香港，中秋節嘅公眾假期係喺第二日嘅，方便大家喺中秋節夜晚玩得盡興一啲。呢一晚呢，細路仔都會拎住佢哋最鍾意嘅卡通人物燈籠，而後生仔就會玩蠟燭，甚至煲蠟。但係近年呢，因為煲蠟而發生好多火災同埋燒傷，而且呢，通常喺公眾場所留低一大堆好難清理嘅蠟跡，所以政府已經將煲蠟定為犯法啦。跟住落嚟，我哋睇下中秋節嘅神話。傳說入面，天上面有10個太陽，令到地球過熱，人人都生活得好艱苦。於是天帝就將好叻射箭嘅后羿同埋佢嘅老婆嫦娥派到凡間，解除人民嘅苦難。后羿不負所託，將多餘嘅9個太陽都射咗落嚟。於是王母娘娘就送咗2粒長生不老仙藥俾佢同嫦娥。但係喺8月15號，后羿嘅徒弟趁佢出咗去嘅時候，逼嫦娥將仙藥交俾佢。嫦娥情急之下就將仙藥吞咗。於是就飄離地面，升咗上月亮啦。中秋節嘅另外一個習俗就係舞火龍。每年中秋節前後連續3晚都會可以喺銅鑼灣嘅大坑見到火龍喺街度舞動。而呢一項活動呢，更加喺2011年列入中國國家級非物質文化遺產名錄，令到呢個香港傳統可以延續。而家就嚟揭曉問題嘅答案。你知唔知喺中國神話入邊喺月亮生活嘅係咩動物呢？喺中國神話入邊，月亮度住嘅係兔仔，叫做月兔。佢喺月亮上面陪住嫦娥噶。科學上面嚟講咧，係因為月亮表面嘅明暗區域分布睇嚟似一隻兔仔，因而為名噶。你覺得呢一集點呢？有冇學到啲有趣嘅新知識？喺你嘅國家會唔會慶祝月圓之夜嘅呢？喺 CantoneseClass101.com 留言同我哋分享啦，下次見。
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to learn a language in 2022. If you're planning to learn a language in 2022, then this episode is for you, especially if you want to finally succeed with your New Year's resolution, instead of failing or giving up in the next week or two. That's why today you'll discover 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language, and 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. But first, if you're looking for some free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Using Opposites Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn common opposite adjectives like near and far, hot and cold, and grammar rules on how to use these words in a sentence. Second, the How to Say Goodbye PDF Writing Workbook. With this printable PDF, you'll pick up some common parting greetings and be able to practice writing them out. Third, can you talk about cars in your target language? Learn how to say words like tire, windshield, headlights, and more with this quick vocab bonus. Fourth, must know words and phrases for public transportation. Learn how to say ticket, bus, train, and much more with this quick 1-minute lesson. Fifth, the 10 habits of highly effective language learners. Wondering which habits will help you succeed with language learning? Then check out this free lesson. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. How to learn a language in 2022. Part 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language. Every time you start a new language, you should start with 1. Goals, 2. Anchor points, 3. Grammar, 4. Reading. What are these 4 steps, and why do you need them to succeed with language learning? Let's jump in. The first one is goals. Everything starts with a goal, but your goal itself can also lead you to failure if you don't set it the right way. So more specifically, you need to set small, measurable monthly goals instead of just, I want to learn a language and be fluent this year. We'll cover goals in the second part of this episode, so stay tuned. After goals, the second step is setting anchor points. What are anchor points? Imagine a small ship in the middle of a big lake. It's windy, lots of waves, and the ship is bobbing up and down, drifting all around. What would you use to stop the ship from drifting away? An anchor. And just like an anchor keeps the ship in place, anchor points keep you from drifting away from your language. So an anchor point is a connection to the language that keeps you attached to the language and motivated to learn the language. One great example is language school. Imagine you signed up and paid thousands of dollars up front. Paying that much would motivate you to make the most of your time there. It's also a big commitment, one that you can't easily back out of. And school dictates your schedule. You have to wake up early, you have to do homework. Your life revolves around the classes. And as such, language school and the language itself become anchor points that your life revolves around. Anchor points can also be family or a partner that speaks the language you're learning. You're around them, you're exposed to the language, so your motivation to learn gets a bit stronger. Buying a language learning program or textbook are also examples of good anchor points. You invested your hard-earned money, which means you're serious about learning. Plus, you want to make sure your investment doesn't go to waste, so you're more motivated. If you're wondering if you have any anchor points, you already have at least one. You're watching our lessons on YouTube, but the more anchor points you have, the stronger your motivation will be. So if you're into music or TV shows in your target language, those can serve as anchor points too. These are things that connect you to the language and add a bit of motivation to learn more, or at the very least, understand what you're watching or listening to. We covered goals and anchor points. What's next? The third step is you must have a good grasp of grammar of your native language. Now, you might wonder, if you're learning a new language, why focus on your native language? Well, as native speakers, the problem is we know what good grammar sounds like, but we can't explain how or why our language works the way it works. So if you don't have a good grasp of grammar, the backbone or the rules of a language, then you'll have a tough time learning a new language. You'll jump in and start learning words and phrases, but you'll never learn how to put them together and make sentences. That's a common problem beginners have. Now, if you already know the grammar of your native language, how do you apply that to your target language? For example, if you're an English speaker, and if you know that English sentences follow the subject, verb, object pattern, and if you know that languages have specific sentence patterns, then you'd go look at patterns. Then, you'd have a good idea of how to create your own sentences, instead of learning random words first. Finally, the fourth step is reading. Reading is good simply because you can do it anywhere, anytime, and without a teacher. It's a skill you can get started on day one, on your own. Reading also tends to spill over into other areas. The more you read, the more words and grammar rules you come across, so you boost your vocabulary and grammar, which can seep into speaking and listening. If you read out loud, you're practicing two skills at once. Now, we've covered what you need: goals, anchor points, reading, and grammar. Setting anchor points, knowing your own grammar, and reading are simple enough, but how do you set goals that don't lead you to failure? Part 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. The goal that you set can make or break your language learning journey, so setting the right goals makes all the difference between success and failure. Just think about all of the common New Year's resolutions. What comes to mind? Goals like, I want to be fluent someday. I want to speak the language. I want to lose weight. I want to save more money. These big, vague goals often lead to failure because you simply have no idea how to approach the goal and you don't know what you're aiming for. Instead, your goals should be small, measurable, and monthly. For example, speak 1 minute of conversation by the end of the month. Learn 100 words by the end of the month. Finish Chapter 1 of your language textbook by the end of the month. If you're using our program, finish 20 audio lessons by the end of the month. All of these are small and specific. 1 minute, 100 words, 1 chapter, 20 audio lessons. This means that they're easy to reach, unlike something vague like fluency. They're also measurable. You know when you reach 1 minute. You can check if you know all 100 words or if you finished all 20 lessons. If you aim for fluency, you won't know when you hit it. It's too vague and too big of a goal, and it may take years to hit. Finally, all of these goals have a deadline, the end of the month. That would mean January 31st of this year. Deadlines give you a clear date to aim for, and without one, you'll forever be floating around without much progress. So set a deadline for the end of every month. So now that you know how to set small, measurable monthly goals, leave us a comment. What's your small, measurable monthly goal, and what's the deadline? So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
大家好，我係 Olivia， 歡迎收睇香港節日系列。今集咧，我哋會介紹香港嘅聖誕節。相信大家都好熟悉，聖誕節就係喺12月25號。而家就嚟睇下香港人係點樣慶祝聖誕節啦。你估下喺香港嘅酒店食一餐聖誕大餐要幾多錢呢？我會喺呢段影片嘅最後公佈答案。香港嘅聖誕氣氛唔錯㗎，男女老幼都會為形形色色嘅派對約會忙到不得了。當然喺 party 度一定會交換禮物啦，所以大家會出街 shopping。而市面上所有嘅店鋪都會大減價，滿足大家嘅購物慾。等我話你知喺香港聖誕節前後最熱鬧同埋裝飾得最美輪美奐嘅地方啦，係尖沙咀嘅海港城商場、1881同埋半島酒店，仲有銅鑼灣嘅時代廣場、中環嘅皇后像廣場同埋大嶼山嘅迪士尼樂園。喺維多利亞海港兩邊嘅建築物同埋大廈咧，亦都掛滿燈飾，所以無論係香港人或者遊客都會坐天星小輪觀賞海港兩邊嘅夜景㗎。喺香港嘅聖誕同埋外國嘅最唔同，大概就係聖誕大餐啦。外國通常係一家人喺屋企食，但係喺香港咧，普遍都係喺餐廳同埋酒店食或者叫到會嘅喎。每一間餐廳同埋酒店都會推出充滿聖誕特色嘅套餐同埋自助餐服務。唔一早訂位，嗰晚就好難揾位㗎啦。因為香港從來都唔會落雪，所以某啲商場咧會做啲假嘅飄雪、假嘅雪人同埋冰面嚟吸引客人。亦都因為天氣太熱咧，香港係冇室外溜冰場嘅，但係咧就有好幾個室內溜冰場啦。而家就嚟揭曉問題嘅答案。你估下喺香港嘅酒店食一餐聖誕大餐要幾多錢呢？喺香港嘅酒店食一餐聖誕大餐，平均消費係每人港幣650蚊，即係大概美金85蚊。比起你嘅國家，算係貴定平呢？你覺得呢一集點呢？有冇學到啲有趣嘅知識？喺你嘅國家係點樣慶祝聖誕節嘅呢？喺 CantoneseClass101.com 留言同我哋分享啦。下次見。
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Cantonese ebook before it's gone.